There we go. Okay, so we got everything here. Welcome aboard, everyone, to another exciting episode of IrixGuy's live show. Want to remind everyone my T-shirts, and you can find them for men or women, variety of different colors, variety of different sizes, and just go to Amazon and just search for IrixGuy, and they'll pop up. So really soft material. I've washed this shirt probably about 5 times now. Hasn't, you get cheap T-shirts, they kind of they get, they don't feel good. This is a very soft material. The logo hasn't seemed to fade. Just machine wash cold for this particular one. It's really been great. So with that being said, let's see. Let's hop right in here. We've got Jake says, "Hey IrixGuy, I know how yesterday I said I hurt my shoulder really bad. I think that's when your last stream was, right? Anyways, when I went to get it looked at, it's broken in 3 places. Oh man, yeah, I remember you saying that. You said you had a mountain bike accident. That's rough, man. But you know what? You got those broken bones. That's something to remember. And not when I got hit by the van, but when I got this was the day. Actually, it was a few days before my high school graduation, and every bone in my right hand, I had just gotten, it was when full suspension bikes were just kind of becoming popular and the clipless pedals. And I had purchased, a mountain bike. Hybrid Life, welcome back, sir. And I purchased a mountain bike, and it was my first time riding clipless. Long story short, I was going down a hill, and I had disc brakes. That was the other thing. It had disc brakes, and I wasn't used to the stopping power of disc brakes. So it when I slammed those disc brakes on, the rear of the bicycle went up, and I went over the handlebars. My feet were still attached to the pedals because I had the clipless pedals. I wasn't used to any of that. I landed on my hand. I broke every bone in my right hand. I broke my chin, and I had all these stitches. And then in high school and stuff, you go on that senior trip. So for the senior trip, we went to Cancun, Mexico. So I'm down there with with a cast on my arm, just totally, messed up. But yeah, I will say though, drinking in the pool in Cancun, and just having graduated high school at the time, it was a senior trip. That was it was disappointing that I had broken every bone in my right hand on a mountain bike, but man, I had to put a garbage bag over my hand because I couldn't get it wet because I had a cast on it. So I've got a garbage bag over my hand holding it out of the water. Man, I was single back then, and I met women like you wouldn't believe. And it's amazing how that was horrible that I had the cast on, but man, I was the pimp. So that was a that was a good memory. Jake says, and I've also got a broken rib. Well, that's what happens when a car cuts you off and ends up hitting you on a city street. Ow, broken rib. Well, the good thing about a broken rib, there's not much you can do about it, man. Not much you can do about broken ribs. Howard Life says, back at it. Yep. Back at it again, man. Back at it. Jake says, mind my spelling errors. I'm trying to type with one hand. Hey, I know exactly how that is. And Jake says, a Pontiac Sunfire cut me off on Brock Street and hit me when I tried to swerve around it. Ooh. Tech for your needs. Ouch. Oh. Painful, man. Painful. Let's see. I'm gonna ping somebody here. Jake says, I've also got some very nasty bruises, big, swollen, and let's see. Popping onto my thingamajig here. Hold on just a second. I think I may have someone calling in. Let's see. Let's see. Tech for Your Needs says, Jake, that was my first car, Pontiac 89. Well, maybe Tech for Your Needs hit Jake. Hybrid Life. Do you still have the didgeridoo? Yes, I do. I have the sound of the super chat anytime, and thanks for reminding me. This obviously is the sound of the super chat. So anytime that a super chat comes through, and if everybody out there, if you're new to the YouTube shows and you haven't super chatted before, at the comment section, there's a thing down there, it's an icon, it says super chat. And if you choose to super chat, which that's just a way, and again, not required, completely optional. But if you choose to super chat, I will make the sound of the super chat, and the sound of the super chat is this didgeridoo. But I only do it when I get super chats. So thanks Hybrid Life for the reminder. Jake says, it's not good when I break ribs. I'm a hockey player, so I've broken a lot of bones, almost everything in my body at one point, so I never cry when I get hurt, just curse and shout a bit. Hey, man, yeah, hockey is a rough game. I played golf, and now playing golf can get pretty rough too if you're playing with the wrong people. So, let's see here. So what do we have here? We have anybody out there, speaking of, and Jake, this is a great segue into this. Jake's been hit by a car. I got hit by a minivan. The entire world's been hit by coronavirus. That, my friends, is the sound of the super chat. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Hybrid Life, as always, man. That's greatly appreciated. Just an awesome way to celebrate the super chat, and I do appreciate that, man. Being an independent YouTube channel, without viewers, without y'all's support, your views, sharing with others, subscribing, telling your friends, your family to subscribe, independent YouTubers like myself could not exist. So it's really important. Jake says, I'm an expert on cars and trucks, buses, train, aircraft, military and civilian, and boats and tech, but only if it's military and Canadian and American history. Tech for Your Needs. I broke my arm once trying to beat my cousin jumping over a tree. That was a bet. Brad Hendo says, hey, welcome aboard, sir. Welcome aboard, Brad. Hey, Brad, sorry I didn't... I was going to do a live stream last night, and I didn't. Hold on one second. I've got... got somebody's going to dial in here. I've just got to get my studio's yellow phone. This is the official yellow phone of IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. So I've got a caller coming in here. I've got to make sure I've got things set up here. Everything's hunky-dory. Let's see what we got. And by the way, if anybody wants to join in on Skype, I've got Skype. Man, I got this stuff ironed out to the T. So no audio issues. I mean, I throw on my headset, and it's very cool. So let's see. I gotta share this number with this guy that's gonna be calling in here. Okay. Jake says, and of course, drones and medical stuff and animals, especially cats. Rawr. Tech for your needs. Jumping over a tree while swinging. Jake says, I'm not seeing tech for your needs comments. Are you seeing mine? That's strange. I see tech for your needs and Brad and Jake and of course Hybrid Life. You just had to refresh your live chat. Yeah, YouTube's funny like that at times. Does anybody have any recommendations? So, basically because of this pandemic, and I know we're all affected by it, but I'm not going to the gym because I don't want to be in a small and enclosed environment with a bunch of people. Because I know people that have legitimately caught the coronavirus and they got sick, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to get sick. So is there it's a rowing machine. Now, keep in mind, I've got pretty much everything's on back order now when it comes to exercise bikes. And I'm not going to get the Peloton because I'm sure it's nice, but, part of what you're paying for the Peloton is the branding, all their marketing, and you get the Peloton, then you're married to the Peloton app. So what I ordered the Bowflex, and the Bowflex is called the Bowflex C6, and there's also a Schwinn IC4, which is just a different paint job of the Bowflex. But both of those exercise bikes, their own shipment delay for about 8 weeks, estimated 8 weeks. So I've got that coming, and I'm excited about that because if I want to use the Peloton app, I can use the Peloton app for that Bowflex bike. And there's also a bunch of other apps that I can use, cycling apps, so you're not married to just the Peloton app. You can still use it. Now, there are some features if you bring your own Peloton app versus use the Peloton app that's integrated into the Peloton branded bike that you don't get. But for an approximate, $1,000 or so price difference for the unit, I couldn't justify, spending for the Peloton. And then also the fact that with the Peloton, you're married to that Peloton app, to the Peloton program subscription that works exclusively for the Peloton. But with Bowflex, I still get Peloton, but I think the difference in bring your own app with the Bowflex C6 or the Schwinn IC4, I think there's some things like leaderboards you don't, unless you're a Peloton bike owner, I don't think you get. It's just some small stuff. So, all I care about is having a virtual cycling experience, being able to cycle indoors where cars hopefully not going to hit me. Cars can drive through walls and stuff. Stuff happens, but at least enhance my comfort level that while I'm on a stationary bike indoors that I shouldn't get hit by a car. So, that being the case, I do have the Bowflex coming. I decided, Schwinn IC4 or Bowflex. I bought the Bowflex just because I've had good luck with their products, man. I had the, before I reinstated my gym membership pre-corona, I had the one of the Bowflex indoor machines, which was actually pretty good workout. You can't come close to free weights with that, but it was still decent. But the problem now is that I've got, not going to the gym and, I got to have some cardio and stuff. So I've got that coming. But what I want to ask y'all, have y'all had any experience with rowing machines, erg machines, whatever you want to call them? Have you had any experience with them, and which ones are decent and not junk? Because, see, with the rowing machines, a lot of those aren't sold out right now. So, I can get a rowing machine and at least, have that somewhat full body workout plus cardio until my bike arrives, and I can kind of alternate, between bike and rowing machine. And I didn't know if any of y'all had any recommendations for at-home rowing machines that are decent. I don't want something I'm going to use for, a week and then it breaks. Jake says, I've got 4 cats and 2 are Bengals. Jake says, Pontiac 89, that's a Sunfire. Am right, tech for your needs. I'm going to call you for short. There you go. And we've got, I think Rob is going to be dialing in here on the live stream. He's be dialing into the studio, the Soho, New York studio, man. New York. Hey, forget about it. So yeah, just, with the lockdown, just trying to, and I know the lockdown's eased, and, something that, and I'll be doing a video of this, something that I ordered, and I don't know if it's legitimate or not. But I ordered a cheap, USB rechargeable UVC, Uniform Victor Charlie light. And this UVC light allegedly may be able to destroy some bacteria. It may be able to destroy some viruses. I mean, again, it's all maybe. It's not, yes, it will. But basically what you do with this, you can sweep it over things, and, it may kill some bacteria and stuff. Hybrid Life says, I just picked up the Samsung 32-inch curved widescreen 4K UHD for new monitor. Definitely recommend it. Dude, what is the model number of that? Because I'm looking. Here's my situation. I've got one monitor. I had two monitors. I had a 32 and a 27-inch, and I've been looking at the curved monitors, but I haven't picked one up yet. Because right now I'm down to I got rid of my 31-inch. It was just the colors on it weren't that great. I mean, it was 4K, but it wasn't an IPS panel. It was a VA panel, and it just didn't look as good. So, what's the model number of your Samsung? Because I'm interested in that ultra wide format, and I'm also interested in the curved. The curved is really cool. So I'd be curious. Let's see. I'm pulling that up right now. LU blah 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 blah. I'm going to copy and paste that. Oh, 1 second.
Call from
Rob Hayden.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press
Hello?
2. To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press 2.
Wait, I got to put my headsets on. Oh. Can you hear me? Let's see. Sorry, I've got a caller coming in here. I didn't have. Let's see. Put this on here. Let's see. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. Hey, man, can you hear me? You want me to add you to the show? Okay, here we go here. Okay. Hey, everybody. We've got a live guest on. Rob, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can. Good to be here again.
Can everybody out in the YouTube audience, can y'all hear Rob on the phone? I apologize. I'm still learning this complicated piece of equipment here. Yeah, Joe called it right. Joe said press 1. That's funny. So Rob, you got any updates for us today, man, about Eloke?
Wanted to say that we've actually completed the initial server-side functionality and moving on to working on the client-side functionality, which in some ways should be more interesting. It's going to be more visual, more immediate feedback, you might say. So we're excited to keep going with it.
Very cool. So is a team? They said they can. Joe says he can hear you loud and clear, dude.
Oh, good. I'm glad to hear that.
So, Rob, I'm gonna ask our audience out there, what would y'all like to see in a social network? What's something that's missing from our current selection of social media networks that you'd like to see in a future social media network implementation? So in other words, let's say you use Facebook. What do you not like about Facebook that another social media network could do better? We've got comments coming in, dude. So what's the feature that's taken your team the longest to develop?
That is a good question. So far, really, it's just been, it's been a couple of things, I would say. One is we're making sure that we're including automated tests with the actual functionality that we're developing. So we verify that the functionality is working as expected. That, of course, does mean that the development takes a little longer because we can't just go full speed ahead, so to speak. We have to go slower in order to be able to write these automated tests to verify the functionality that we're developing. Aside from that, there is some complexity around, I would say around the idea of having not just followers and people you're following, but beyond that, being able to group followers and people you're following into circles. That's optional, but nonetheless, it'll be, I think, a pretty important feature that people can use. But being able to then, for example, show the posts in your feed based on what other people who you're following have set their posts to be visible to, if that makes sense. Because what you'll be able to do is you'll be able to set the visibility of the post to public, in which case anyone can see it, or you can set it to be visible to all of your connections, which means all of the people that you're either following or who are following you, or you can restrict the visibility of a post to just certain circles, or even all of your circles, because, as I said, circles are an optional feature. No one has to create circles, no one has to use circles, but they're available for people who want to use them. And so if you made a post and you didn't want it to be visible to all of your connections, again, that is people you're following and people who are following you, then you could set the visibility to circles and simply select all of the circles you have. So you don't have to select only some of them. You can select all of your circles if you want.
So it sounds like a simplified user experience. And Darius in the audience, he just said, earlier when we were saying, what would you like to see in a new social media network? He said he would like to see a dislike button. Do you have plans to add that? I know Facebook's taken away the dislike. Are you going to add like an unlike or a dislike?
We're going to have a number of reactions. In fact, these reactions are basically going to be emojis, including a thumbs down, which would basically be a dislike.
So you're going to take it to the next level. You're not. We're kind of the mainstream now is kind of like and or dislike. You're going to have a lot more granular set of options that people can choose from.
As far as reactions go, certainly. Right now, we're planning on having at least 75 different kinds of reactions.
Wow. So
well, they're all emojis. So there are a lot more emojis than 75.
So Darius, to answer your question, yeah, there'll be dislike and a whole lot more. That's what Rob just said. And we've got Hybrid Life on here. He said invest in gold mining stocks, and he named a few ticker symbols. Yeah. dude, precious metals have been on the have been on a bullish run the past few weeks. So, but so okay, so you've got that in your team's got that in progress. What and I understand, you can only share what you're able to share, but is there anything else really big that you'd like to share? I mean, I know you're working on a sandbox of sorts that people can dig in and have a good time with, but what else at this point? What else can you share? And what's the big what's the most exciting thing that your team's worked on? Let's say the past week and a half.
That's a good question. I don't know if this would be the most exciting thing. I mean, it's not going to sound terribly exciting in general, but one of the big things that we worked on for the past week and a half or so was the file upload functionality. Being able to, of course, this is a pretty essential feature of any social network worth its salt, to be able to upload images and videos, to the social network. And those files, those images and videos are also going to be under the same kinds of visibility, the same kinds of, they're going to have the same kinds of visibility option as posts themselves. So even if you went to a person's profile, there will be a section, again, this is like Google Plus, there will be sections in their profile to see photos they've uploaded and videos that they've uploaded. But if they uploaded a photo or video that was part of the post that you're not able to see, you won't see that photo or video listed, if you go to their profile. So just want to, emphasize the privacy controls there.
I gotcha. Yeah, and for everybody that's not already familiar with Elk, I guess you would say, is privacy your number one component?
I would say there are probably multiple components that are kind of share the number one spot, but privacy is definitely one of them.
So you're, unlike a lot of, and that's the thing, everyone, with a lot of social media networks today, privacy is not, does not seem to be paramount. And that's the big thing with Elk is that, Rob's team is bringing something to market that is going to be very privacy centric, and that's something that we may not have realized that we need that from a social media network, but it's something that his team is diligently working to bring to the playing field. And it's, dude, I mean, I'm excited. So when do you think we might be able to see some hands-on action with this new Elk?
I would say we're still planning on opening the sandbox in the middle of August or thereabouts. So right now our target date is August 15th. We'll be sure to update folks if that date needs to be pushed out.
Well, man, 15th, today's the 25th. That's not far away. It's not far away at all.
3 weeks from today.
Oh, that's yeah, that is wow. Yeah, you'll do it though, and I know I know you've got the best resources on deck, so I know it can happen. So
well, I appreciate that.
No problem, man. And I guess all of your with this being a development type thing, you're developing a new social media network. I guess this is not by any means like a brick and mortar type operation. I'm assuming your teams pretty much work from anywhere, so they're not impacted by everything that's going on with the pandemic, I don't guess, are they?
No, they're not. The team is entirely virtual. Good
deal. You have any slackers on your team that you gotta you got to what's the word for it? Kick them into action. Say, hey, do your job. Or do you just have a really solid, well-performing team? I would say they're solid.
haven't been any complaints so far.
Good deal. It would be hard to not be solid if you've been given the opportunity to be part of something new and revolutionary like Yellow Oak. So I'm just thrilled, dude, that that we know each other and you're on this channel and you're talking about your new social media network. It's kind of like talking to Zuckerberg at Harvard or something. It's kind of cool.
Well, I'm flattered. I'm thrilled to be part of your show as well and being able to talk about it.
Well, good deal, man. Well, what else? Anything else that you'd like to share with the viewers at this point, or are we just going to look for an update closer to the 15th of August, or?
Let me think here. Yeah, I think I can't think of anything else really to share off the top of my head. Again, we're working hard. We're planning to open the sandbox on August 15th or thereabouts. And again, if you would like to be a part of the sandbox when it is open, you'll need to go to the preview page, as we call it, at loak.social right now. There will be a place for you to enter your email address. That will also let you get updates. Right now, we're putting out a monthly update. If before September, as we plan, if before September the sandbox is open, then there will be a special email sent out before September to let everyone know about that. One other thing is that when the sandbox is open, along with that general email, you'll get, if you've submitted your email address, you'll get a special email with an invitation, basically a special link that will let you create an account in the sandbox. And also, once you're in the sandbox, you'll be able to send invites to other people, and you'll click on a link for sending invites, and then there'll be basically a modal or dialog box that pops up that will let you enter in an email address. That's where you would enter the email address of whoever you want to send an invite to. And then a special link would be created for them as well. So if they want to create an account in the sandbox, they can click on the link in the email they get, and there they go.
Well, good deal, man. And I linked within the chat, everyone, I linked the URL for Yellow Oak. It's just https://yellowoak.social. So what Rob was just talking about, you can go there and you can choose to sign up and be part of the invitation for the sandbox as soon as it's available. So awesome, man. Yep. Well, it sounds like, it's one of those things, it's like any other creation, you can talk about it and you can build excitement and I know I'm excited. I know you're very excited and your team's super excited. But, until you see it in action, it's one of those things. It's just going to be funny when this hits, if it hits on the 15th of August, or if you're, even if y'all do have to delay just a little bit, I mean, hopefully you won't, but, I'm just excited to gauge everyone's reaction when it does go live, whether it's August 15th or whenever. I mean, you're bringing a new tool to the world. And that's not something that just anyone can do. Right.
Yeah, we've also found that based on what we've seen with putting up the preview page, we wanted to put something out there to start, letting people know, hey, this is coming. But we, what we found is that it seems like people are going to be much more interested once they have something more tangible and something they can actually use, they can actually go into and play around with. And again, just to be clear, the sandbox is not going to be the live site. It's going to be basically a testing environment. So when the sandbox first comes up, when it's first open, it's not going to have all of the features that will ultimately be a part of the what you could call the actual site. We're still going to be working on developing features, once the sandbox is open for people to use. And part of the reason for having the sandbox is basically to have people in there using what the functionality that's there already, reporting issues, and otherwise providing feedback to help guide us with developing the site from that point on. And again, the actual site, we plan for that to go live before the end of September.
And you just mentioned something really cool about, feedback from your users. And that's, at least that's something I can speak to. Now, YouTube, I'll say that YouTube does a pretty good job. If they introduce a new feature, YouTube's pretty good about, how do you feel about this? Or, is something broken? Let us know. YouTube's been pretty good to work with. Facebook, on the other hand, is pitiful. I've had, and I'm so irritated with Facebook. My website, IrixGuy.com, is blocked from both Facebook and Instagram for an unknown reason. I've opened multiple support. Yeah, I've opened multiple support tickets with Facebook, Instagram. I've sent emails to them. I've gone through their electronic ticketing system. I've sent a message to them on Twitter. I've done all of this. No response. Radio silence. So the fact that you said your product is going, Elk is going to listen to feedback from the users, that's huge. I mean, that in itself, on top of your privacy-centric model, your team taking the time to listen and respond to feedback from users, that's huge. I mean, it sounds like not only is your team creating a more secure social media experience, but they're also creating something that actually listens and responds to the users. And that in itself, dude, that's huge. I mean, if y'all can master that, and it begs the question though, I guess your team will just have to grow when you're getting a lot more requests and, to stay on top of that monitoring and responding, wouldn't it? Is that?
Oh, certainly. And that's something that we're aware of and something that we're going to be, definitely staying on the lookout for, once, even when the sandbox is open, seeing how many, because again, we believe that once the sandbox is open, once people, actually see something, once it's more than just an idea to people, because that's what it is right now. Right now, it's just vaporware, so to speak. But it won't be that way forever, and in fact, it won't be that way for much longer. But basically, once it is no longer vaporware, once people have something that they can use and they can see, then we expect there to be much more interest. We expect, the people who have already sent in their email addresses, who will create accounts for the sandbox, to send out many invites. Especially if the site is easy to use, if it's intuitive, if it performs well, which of course we want it to, and we plan for it to. And that's part of the reason for being so diligent in listening to feedback from people. I haven't had any websites blocked by Facebook or Instagram, but recently I had an experience where I was trying to share a post, and it wasn't the most intuitive experience in the world. I actually did a little Googling to find out if there was something I missed in trying to share this post in a certain way. I'm trying to remember the details of it, but basically I was trying to share it from Elok's Facebook page to my personal Facebook page to reach my own personal network. And the way that it was shared was not, if I remember right, I wanted to add something. I wanted the original post to be embedded in my post, and it wasn't, for whatever reason, Facebook wasn't letting me do that. And I actually went and did some Googling to see if there was something I missed or some special sequence that I had to do in order to get it working like I wanted it to. And one of the top Google results was a Facebook help thread that had all these other people posting on it, wanting to do the same thing I was trying to do, and they couldn't find a way to do it, and they were all upset, and they were bashing Facebook left and right.
Pretty much
there was not a single there was not a single response by anyone from Facebook in that thread.
And I guarantee you're not alone, because I've run across multiple threads in Facebook. Not just my website being blocked from Facebook and Instagram, but other troublesome things that I've encountered while working on my Facebook page. Same thing, radio silence, man. They don't respond, and people and the audience just gets up in arms because they're not responding to them. That's poor business.
Yeah, I agree. Well, here's the thing. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say we have 2 comments from the audience. We've got Hybrid Life says, "Can I make a private placement into this company?" And Joe Fuller says, "I just went to the link and gave them my email for updates. This sounds awesome. I'm not on any social media other than YouTube, but I would definitely do this." Hey, that's super cool, man.
That is. Thank you very much.
Whoa. So, I got a super chat just came in. Hold on. I got to blow my didgeridoo. Hold on just a second, Rob.
Sure.
Oh, hold on. That, my friends, is the sound of the super chat. And Joseph just says he passed his Part 107 exam Friday with a 97%. Thanks for all your videos and the answer to questions you have provided. 97%, dude, you grossly trumped my score, dude. I think the last time the recurrent, I think I made the first time I passed with like a C, the initial, and then the recurrent, I think I did it was high 80s. 97, dude, you knocked it out of the ballpark, dude. Grats. I'm going to give you another didgeridoo sound just for that performance, man. Whoa. So, Rob, what else, from an El Oak perspective, what else do you want to share at this point? Do we want to plan to link back up with you before August the 15th? You think you may have some big turning points in the next few days or next week or so, or what do you want to do?
Possibly. It all depends on the kind of progress that the team makes. One thing I want to point out with the sandbox is that, as I said before, it's not going to be feature complete. But we're going to be working on extra features, features that we consider to be important essential really to the live site. We would plan on getting those completed before the site goes live. Among those are, in no particular order, collections. These are like Google Plus collections. If anyone in the audience has used Google Plus in the past and is familiar with collections, they're going to work very similarly, basically letting you group posts and also photos and videos, and people will be able to follow collections if you make them public, if you make them followable. People will be able to follow the collections and not just you. In which case they would see all of your content. They can just follow a specific collection that you create. And likewise, communities. Again, those will work similarly to Google Plus communities or Facebook groups. And then also events, which we think is going to be very important. I'm trying to think of what else. Eventually, this may not be something that is part of the live site, but it will be a part of El Oak before long if it's not part of the live site. And that's going to be real-time chat with people. Again, similarly to the chat functionality on Google Plus, Facebook Messenger, that kind of thing. One difference is going to be that there's not going to be a separate app that you'll need to use to be able to chat with people on El Oak. And speaking of apps, we are planning on creating mobile apps for iOS and Android. It may not happen right when the site goes live, but again, that's one of the things that we're going to be working on that we consider to be very important after the site goes live. So that'll be one of our top priorities after go live.
Let me ask you this about chat, and I don't, obviously don't want to say anything that you may not want to reveal, but right now with the enhanced emphasis upon work from anywhere, that's teaching students from a home location to their home location. That's businesses that are working remotely. Do you have plans to securely integrate some sort of face on video conferencing tool into Elk that schools could use, that businesses could use to securely communicate with their colleagues?
We don't have any specific plans in that direction. However, one idea we've been considering is going beyond chat and also being able to do live video, which is essentially what you'd be talking about, right?
Yeah.
If you can have people doing live video, then they would be able to conference through Elk. Wouldn't even need a separate system to integrate with Elk in that case. It could be done through Elk.
So
that is a possibility. That would be something that we'd have to spend more time, working on.
It's just something I thought of, when you're thinking of, obviously with anything like school, distance learning or whatever, you've got privacy concerns. You don't want your students cheating or whatever. And, if you've got a secure mechanism for professors to communicate with their classes, for professors to even communicate one-on-one with their students, for coaching and training purposes or whatever they do. I think, you could, with Elk, having functionality built in that's secure for both secure group communications and then also for secure one-on-one communications. I think, dude, especially with this time right now with the pandemic, people are looking for that one-stop shop. If you could walk into, let's say that, we're typically and now developers, y'all are different animals because y'all typically work from anywhere. But, a lot of people are accustomed to going to whatever brick and mortar location every day and doing, 8 to 5 or, whatever a shift is. So if your team can provide people with a tool to say, okay, this is your virtual equivalent of your brick and mortar. And for example, and again, I'm not really big on sales, but I'm just going to try to explain it. It'll probably sound a little bit salesy, but what I would do is I would approach a business and I would say, hey, I've got this tool and it's just a component of our much more powerful set of tools. And, with this, you can get everybody in brick and mortar location, insert street address here. You can subscribe and you can get everybody from that brick and mortar location to become part of the virtual brick and mortar equivalent. So, people aren't working from that brick and mortar, but everybody that has badge access, let's just say that, to that brick and mortar also then has badge access to the virtual equivalent. So basically you're creating virtual circles for businesses. Everybody that's part of that in the real world business is also part of that virtual equivalent. So you never have to worry with how do I find someone. They're just there.
Right. Yeah, that's certainly a possibility, further down the line.
Cool, man. Well, I tell you, we're excited to hear what all is coming up from Elk. Does anyone else in the audience right now have any questions for Rob about Elk at this point in the game? Again, he says that, his team's aggressively targeting August the 15th. Hopefully there'll be some sandbox access by August the 15th. Anything else, Rob, that you want to share while you're on the live show with us, man?
No, I think that's about all I have. But thanks again for having me on, and thanks to everyone in the audience who asked questions about Elk. And there's an email address that you can write to. It's just contact@elk.social. If you have any questions you think of later on, please feel free to drop us a line.
And likewise, Rob, I put in the chat, it's elk.social. You can go to his website. You can choose to sign up for the mailing list. A lot of you already have. Rob, always good to have you on, man. And, again, as soon as you have updates, as soon as you want to share, let me know and we'll get you, we'll obviously get you back on the show. And, anything I can do, any questions I can ask, to help your team, just, let me know, because I'll ask whatever. I don't care.
All right, will do.
Well,
thanks again.
Thanks for tuning in, man. Good to have you. I'm going to go ahead and end our live call now.
All righty.
So that was Rob, the founder and lead developer of Social. So, it's one of those things. I mean, we're in interesting times right now. And I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see how the birth of a new social media network will impact the way that people experience social media. And again, I'm not saying this because, I'm not trying to, by no means am I trying to position this to be a competitor for YouTube. It's not. It's a completely different experience. If anything, it would be, a direct competitor of something like a Facebook or like a Google Plus was in the past. So I mean, it's not, I'm not here trying to showcase a new social media network that's anti-YouTube. It's not. This has it's absolutely nothing to do with YouTube. I love YouTube. So with that being said, I know Rob, and I know that when he has an idea and something that I mentioned to him, I said, dude, you didn't just have this idea. This is something that's been brewing for a long time. And sure enough, it had. So, y'all are about to see history in the making. You thought that, MySpace was cool. You thought that Facebook was cool. Just wait till you see Social. I mean, this, and it's crazy. I mean, it's been here on IrixGuy's Adventure channel. So, that is pretty freaking cool. So, yeah, just got a lot of cool stuff going. I mean, back on the drone front, obviously we're expecting Mavic 3, and from what I've dug up, there's strong rumors suggesting that by the end of this year, Q4 of 2020, that hopefully from DJI we'll see some sort of new camera. I don't know if it's going to be an Osmo Action or an Osmo Pocket. I'm leaning more towards the school of speculation that's probably going to be, some sort of camera that could also be attached to a drone. And that would make sense because I think, coming out in Q1 or Q2 of 2021, the Mavic 3 would make sense. And it would definitely make sense if DJI released a camera that's, an action camera you can use in different mounts and in different filming scenarios, but a camera that can also be equipped to the upcoming Mavic 3 in 2021, because that would be a great thing, something, a camera that's not too expensive, something that would be, a good gift for people that you care about to put under the Christmas tree, and, something that can be enjoyed now, but also something that can be enjoyed as one of the modular camera options for the upcoming Mavic 3. So I think, what we've seen from Mavic Air 2 with the, with just, you're getting all of this for your money. Awesome performance, awesome autofocus, awesome battery life, very manageable size. We're getting all of that from the Mavic Air 2. So Mavic 3 is going to have to be a huge technological leap forward, and I'm confident that it will be. So, I got a lot of drone stuff coming. Got, unfortunately, with the travel, because of the current situation, I mean, I just don't, and I know a lot of this is highly political, but I just don't want to get sick, and I don't want to make anybody else sick. And for that reason, IrixGuy's Adventure channel is, we're grounded. There's no travel allowed right now. If it involves boats, buses, airplanes, that sort of stuff, trains. But I will have some good backcountry backpacking videos on the Appalachian Trail. I'm targeting that for Q4 of 2020 on IrixGuy's Adventure channel. So some really good Appalachian Mountains backpacking trips, along the Appalachian Trail, which I always laugh when I say the Appalachian Trail, because a lot of people that aren't backpackers, they hear Appalachian Trail, the AT, and they think it's something exceptional. And it is awesome, but the reality is that the Appalachian Trail is just one of many trails that, stretch from Georgia all the way to Maine. There's a ton of other trails that are equally awesome, if not even more awesome. So I'll be getting on all the trails and bringing y'all a lot of cool videos. Now, obviously, those won't be drone videos because, being a national park, you can't fly drones. But I will take full advantage of my my ground-based cameras and bring y'all a lot of really cool backpacking adventures. So that's coming in Q4 to IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. I need to get back to the British West Indies and the British Virgin Islands. I've got, I'm. It's so important that I get back down there, but I can't because of the pandemic. And it's again, I mean, this travel ban is serious. For IrixGuy's Adventure Channel, and that's just one of the pain points. But in the grand scheme of things, it's a small pain point. I mean, the main thing is that we as a world get through this pandemic together. That we as a world take it, and I know it's highly political, and I'm not doubting that or downplaying that in one bit. But the fact is, the virus does exist, and with that being the case, I'm not going to willfully expose myself to others, whether I'm sick or whether they're sick. It's not worth it. So there's other opportunities now that I can pursue, like upgrading the studio in the time where there's little slightly less frequent adventure travel. But the good thing is that hopefully in 2021 this will be cleared up. Hopefully it'll be cleared up before then, but realistically, I see this stretching out another 6 months or so. So yeah, but once it clears up, man, there's going to be some Curacao. Let's see, where else is on the radar? Curacao. Fiji's just too far, man. I'm afraid of flying, and I couldn't drink enough Jägermeister to make it to Fiji and back. So Fiji's just out of the book. There will be some adventures to Dominican Republic. That's the place I want to go. There's a small island off of Puerto Rico. It's called, is it Cabaret or Cavalette? It's a small, actually it's got a lot of history there. One of the big cartels allegedly buried a bunch of stuff on that island, and there was a really cool documentary about it. So that's a place that I'd like to go. I think it's called Cabaret or Cavalette, or it's that little island, just a short puddle jump from Puerto Rico. Wouldn't mind going to the Bahamas. Seem cool, but just like Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas are very flat. Nothing wrong with that, but I like destinations with a little bit more terrain. I like the beaches, but I also like the mountains so inevitably, yeah, I'll be going back to St. John and the U.S. Virgin Islands. That's one of my top places, man. Because I would say probably more than half of St. John is a national park, so it's protected land, and you don't have all the resorts. You don't have all the. I mean, there's no fast food restaurants on St. John. It's wonderful. It's just like it's a true tropical island experience. And actually, this in the background right now, the background that I have, I'm sitting, and this is a video that I filmed from one of my vacation rentals in St. John. This is on the east end of St. John, and what you see in the background is the BVI, British Virgin Islands. I filmed this from Coral Bay, which is on the east end of St. John. So it's a just an incredible view. You're in the jungle, you're in the jungle canopy. It's just hard to beat the cool breeze. That's the other thing about, when you're dealing with Caribbean islands that are lower elevation, if you don't have the hills like you've got on the east end of St. John, unless you're in that forest canopy, it can get really hot. But when you're up higher, there's a cool breeze at night. And even if you don't have an air conditioner, because a lot of the places I stay at don't even have an air conditioner. I mean, I'm not going out and spending, big bucks. I'm an adventure traveler. I'm here for business, man. I'm here for IrixGuy's Adventure Channel. So, with that being the case, I want to keep my costs down, and I want to have the best views. I want to have the best experience. I want to have easy access to everything I'm going to be showcasing within videos, but I don't necessarily need the niceties of an air conditioner. Yeah, I'd like to have Wi-Fi internet because it's nice to be able to, post while I'm on these islands. But I mean, right now it's just a matter of, getting through this pandemic, and hopefully hopefully here in a few months, man, hopefully we'll all be through this and we won't, we won't have our routines hampered in any way. Hopefully it'll just, we'll get a quick rebound and we'll get out of this. But we've been on the air for about an hour. I like to try to keep my live shows to about, half hour. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone tuning in again. It was a really, huge pleasure having Rob, the founder and lead developer of L-Oak, join us again for some updates. And, just to summarize, his team expects to have a sandbox ready by August the 15th of 2020, which that's, for anybody else, I'd say that's an aggressive target, considering you're creating a brand new, very secure, very powerful, feature-rich social media network, and you're going to have that by August the 15th. But knowing Rob, I know that his team will do it. And if his team doesn't, he will they probably won't be part of the team anymore. Let's put it that way. So with that being said, I appreciate everyone tuning in, and thank y'all again for the Super Chats. Deeply appreciated. And to celebrate the Super Chats, I will do one more didgeridoo blow. That is to celebrate the Super Chats, the sound of the Super Chat. Always super good to get those Super Chats, because being an independent YouTuber, it's the Super Chats, it's this, it's the likes, the shares, the subscriptions, shopping my website, when you're shopping for drones. Darius says, I'm not sure a subscription format will hold its own against the free social networks, especially in the face of a global recession. Hey, man, those are very good points, and I'm going to relay those. Rob's already dropped off, but I'm going to relay those points to him. And I mean, to be frank, it's going to be a tough sell, because, I know, for example, and I've got multiple businesses. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businessman. And I've got multiple things that I'm churning throughout the day, 7 days a week. And with that being the case, I still eliminate what I feel are unnecessary expenses. So, for example, right now, for me, subscription-wise, I've got an Apple iCloud. I feel that's important because I need the 2 terabytes of storage. I feel that the whatever it is per month is justified. I also need Adobe Lightroom, because Lightroom is without a doubt the best raw photo editing experience, and I can I can perform my edits from my mobile device, my laptop, whatever I am, web browser. It's very convenient. So I feel that the subscription spend for Lightroom is justified. Now, beyond that, the other stuff is, Amazon Prime. I got to have that. So that's number 3. I've got to have that. Unless they keep jacking that rate up, I may have to cancel my Prime membership. But to have other subscriptions, like I use HBO and Showtime, and that's because I'm addicted to a few shows on both HBO and Showtime, which I could cut those out if I needed to. I did cut out TV. I've got a free over-the-air HD TV, an HD TV over-the-air antenna where I can get free HD TV channels. So that is my TV. And I've got a video on that explains how to do it. And then I've got an Amazon DVR that I use to DVR my free HD over-the-air broadcast. So I used to use, I used to subscribe to, Sling TV. And I'm like, you know what, and I forget the exact number, but it was 30 to, maybe $45 a month. I'm like, that's stupid spending. I don't need that. So I canceled that. So the subscriptions that I have right now, HBO and Showtime, those could definitely go. Amazon Prime could go if they continue to creep the price up annually. It's getting to be a little bit too much. So, it's Hybrid Life says gold stocks an easy 20% gain this coming week. Dude, silver and gold right now. Let's see. I'm pulling up the spot prices right now. Let's see. I'm pulling it up. Sorry, I'm pulling up the spot prices. Oh, there we go. Okay, so yeah, silver and gold. So if anybody's into precious metals, and this is real time, so this will fluctuate. So don't interpret what I say as being current. Gold right now is $1,912. Silver is $22.92. And yeah, these things have been on kind of a bullish run the past few weeks, and that's it's Hybrid Life. I never like to speculate, but what you just said, man, for entertainment purposes only, I think that possibly could happen. 20%. That's significant, but I mean the way things have been going, I don't think that's. Brad says, any consideration ongoing to drone spin up sometime? To drone spin, what is? Is that a conference? I'm really going to sound in the dark here. Drone spin up. You had mentioned this before. Let's see. Oh, drone. Let's see. Drone spin up. Let's see. I'll check this out, man. I may check it out. There's a lot of, it looks like a lot of stuff here. Cool. Just looking. I may, man. I mean, the thing is with like all my, let's see. I may check it out, man. It's just like with all my live shows and all of my concurrent business ventures, man. It's just when I add something else to the plate, it's kind of hard. But it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool for collaboration opportunity. Hybrid Life says gold miner earnings this week. Brad says yes, put on by Kelly Shores from Ready Set Drone, a YouTube drone conference. It's a virtual drone conference due to COVID. Yeah, man. Yeah, and that's virtual is important right now. 90 whatever. The break point for me, Amazon Prime is going to be around 140. The 2-day shipping and other benefits, Prime Video, etc., is still a good deal, but they're quickly getting expensive. I agree, man. And here's the thing: no matter how solid they make, they make their Prime Video offerings. Dude, I watched, and the first episode was pretty intense, or the first season, but I just finished all 3 seasons. It's an Amazon Prime original. It's called Abstentia or Abstensa. And that is a crazy, freaky show, man. I mean, very well produced. And then also that 000 show was good. Amazon, I mean, they put out some really solid Amazon Prime original series. But again, I'm with you, man. I mean, 140 is already pushing it. And, I just, it's convenient, but I mean, it's just subscription thing. And I know subscriptions are kind of the new, they're kind of the new, well, not new. I mean, subscriptions have been a popular trend for the past few years, but it's just subscription creep, man. I mean, you don't, as most customers, here's the thing. Most customers aren't like you and I where we examine our our credit card statements every month or even throughout the month. I examine mine throughout the month and question those charges. And there's a lot of people, unfortunately, that, they do a $5 subscription here, a $10 subscription here, a $20 one here, and they don't even think about it. I mean, there's people out there in this world that have potentially 5, 10, 15, 20 different subscriptions that they don't even realize that they're paying for, that they're not even using anymore, that they're still paying for. I mean, it's just, that's what I don't like about subscription models because, these, I don't know. I mean, it's just like my live streaming. I mean, I've got live streaming equipment now. I bought it. Yeah, it cost a good bit, but I'm not paying a subscription to use it. It's hardware. That's what I like. I like to buy it and forget about it. Nani whatever says I find Hulu to be pretty good for the money. Yeah, and I'll tell you, I didn't use Hulu because I felt it was too expensive. I used Sling, S-L-I-N-G, Sling TV, and just got the basic plan, and it was pretty good. But I've canceled that. Like I said, I've switched to over the air. I've got my TV, every TV that I've got a Fire TV stick in it, and I've got, for my local channels, I've got my over-the-air HD TV antenna, so I pull in free HD TV channels over the air. I record those episodes of things that I watch, which isn't a lot, but I record those to my Fire TV Recast, which is then a DVR that can stream to any of the Fire TVs that I have. Honestly, bulk of what I watch, man, is Netflix. I'm addicted to a bunch of Netflix shows, bunch of cartel shows on Netflix. Among Netflix, Amazon Prime, and then the Showtime and HBO subscription I've got, I don't need anymore. I mean, the thing is, I'll watch an hour or so of TV just to relax and go to sleep because it's never good to stare at an iPad or, smartphone device when you're trying to sleep. It's bad for your sleep. You want to tune out, tune technology off before you go to sleep. And, that being the case, I watch TV Ozark. Oh, I love Ozark, man. I'm current and I'm ready for the next season of Ozark. Ozark is good. If you haven't watched another one that's good on Netflix, if you haven't watched it, it's, let's see, what was the name of it? It was, The Outer Banks. That's a really good one. And then a very similar show. So The Outer Banks is in The Outer Banks. And then there's one called Bloodline, which is down in the Florida Keys. And it's about these, drug dealers and stuff. It's really good. But yeah, if you like Ozark, you'll like Bloodline and you'll also like The Outer Banks. They're very similar. Yeah, Netflix has some solid stuff, man. One of my biggest regrets was not buying more Netflix stock. Not being able to see the streaming video future and the a la carte video consumption component that was going to hit us all. So, yeah, man. That is, yeah, Ozark. Quite possibly my favorite show right now. Oh, Amazon Prime, Bosch, Sneaky Pete. You know what's funny? I need to give Bosch a second shot because I never really gave it a fair. I started it and I think that I was distracted and I didn't really get into it. I'm going to start that over from season 1 and watch it because I did like it. I didn't pay enough attention. Sneaky Pete, I watched enough of it to. I don't know. It's that actor guy in Sneaky Pete. He just kind of. I don't know. There's people you don't like their personalities, and I just didn't like his personality, so I can never get into Sneaky Pete's show. Hybrid Life says, make that up with gold stocks. Now I'm not a big and by the way, this is for entertainment purposes only and should not be considered a recommendation to buy or sell security. This is This is strictly for entertainment purposes only. But if you've never messed with reverse mergers, and I'm talking the sketchiest of the sketchy, pink sheet stocks, bottom of the OTC markets, the sketchiest of the sketchy. Something I've been chasing, and these are called they're called custodial plays. And if you're not, I know you're mentioning precious metal stocks, but if you've ever pondered, what else is out there to research, and again, these are highly volatile, often very heavily manipulated. People are trying to, obviously they're making money off, making them go down when they're shorting them, and it's here's the thing: reverse mergers. So if you can find reverse merger plays, there's a couple of different levels. Number one, so there's a shell. And for everyone out there that's not familiar with stocks, basically a stock is, it's a ticker symbol, Apple, for example, AAPL. Well, now when you're dealing with the big technology stocks, most of those are part of what's called the NASDAQ. And in the United States, there's several big, they call them the big boards, the primary stock exchanges. You pop on your popular, news network, and you see the little ticker at the bottom. That's probably American Stock Exchange, NASDAQ, or New York Stock Exchange. And there's another tier of markets. They're called the OTC markets, the over-the-counter stocks. And within the OTC markets, you've got several different tiers. And, you've got OTCQX, OTCQB, and then you've got what's called pink sheets. Now, according to the tier of the OTC stock, the reporting requirements may not be the same. So a lot of these pink sheets, they're pretty much, let's just call them dark, for lack of a better word. And they, you don't really know, what's the share structure? Is this stock something that even with this ton of volume, it's not going to tick up because it's got such poor share structure. And 90 whatever says when you're playing in those OTC speculative markets like that, you have to approach it like it's flying drone. Be okay with losing everything possibility. Have to be okay with risk and oh yeah, you've definitely got to be okay with losing everything. Now, with that said, and often, I'll come out and lose everything. I mean, that's most often what happens. But when I'm speculating with a pink sheet reverse merger candidate, there's a few layers to that play. Number one, if there's a shell, so say for example, there's a ticker symbol. Let's just make fictitious ticker symbol ABC. And it's a pink sheet stock, which is the bottom of the OTC market barrel. Fictitious ticker symbol ABC used to be a company that sold milk jugs. And I'm just making all of this up. And then the owner died, and they didn't really go anywhere, and the business floundered, and now this ticker symbol still exists, but it's 12 years later, and the price per share is .0002, 0002 cents a share. That's it. So you've got a ticker symbol that still exists. It's publicly traded because people that, have access to an online brokerage could go in and purchase that stock, but there's no price fluctuation because there's no business behind it. This is a shell that used to be, legitimate business, whatever happened, and now there's just been no activity for multiple years. So what you'll find, these are called shell plays. And with these particular ticker symbols, there could be an event such as a reverse merger. So let me explain in plain English how a reverse merger typically functions. So you have someone, let's just call them a custodian. So a custodian comes in, and what they do is they come in to clean up the shell. So this would be someone that has an interest in, okay, well, there's this private or this public shell, there's no business, but I want to come in and I want to update the filings. I want to get the the current share structure, blah blah blah. I want to do some house cleaning, but my intent is to take this public shell, and find a legitimate privately held company that wants to go public. And those companies can go public by way of what's called a reverse merger, which is a less traditional way of making your company publicly tradable. When you're dealing with, trying to get listed on the big boards, there's a lot of requirements, NASDAQ, American Stock Exchange, New York Stock Exchange. I mean, that's cost prohibitive for a lot of smaller businesses. But if you're a smaller business looking to go public on a budget, reverse merger may be the way to do it. And again, this is all hypothetical. It's for entertainment purposes only. It should not be considered a recommendation to buy or sell security. But what often happens, if you can identify these shells that have been abandoned, they're somewhat clean. They don't have anything too sketchy associated with them, because most any pink sheet stock that you find is going to have questionable activity. That's just the nature of the game. But if it's somewhat clean, if someone that has a track record of being a custodian steps in, there's a pretty good indication that that could become a reverse merger play. Now, in reverse merger world, these stocks that have been abandoned and there's no, business model, whatever, it's still publicly tradable. Yeah, you can go in and pick it up, but there's no volume, and without volume, a stock's not going to move up or down. But what will often happen is that, and this is, again, there's potentially thousands of abandoned shells out there. So, picking the right one, I mean, it's a gamble, expect to lose it all. But these that are picked up by a custodian, these that are, that do become, a vehicle for a privately held company to reverse merge and become publicly traded, a lot of these, man, they're hypothetically trading at 0.0003 price per share. Some of these run as high as 30, 40 cents a share. So you do the math. And again, this is hypothetical. So let's say that I took, $100 US or $200 US. And I'm not even talking about commissions or brokerage commissions or anything like that. So I'm going to take $200 and I'm going to divide that by 0.0003. So for $200, hypothetically, I got 666,666 shares. So that was $200 before commission, and, taxes, any of that stuff. Let's say hypothetically that this was a reverse merger play that hypothetically achieved an outstanding price per share of 36 cents. So I've got 666,666 shares. That's an evil number. Times 36. So $200 potentially may, and again, this is all hypothetical, that $200, if that ran to 36 cents, there wasn't any sort of split, any other sort of things that occurred. And again, entertainment purposes only, that $200, if that person was able to exit at 36 cents, there's a possibility that they could have as much as $240,000. So, you can see how people could be attracted to reverse merger plays. So, and again, this is for entertainment purposes only. It's not a recommendation to buy or sell security. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just some guy on YouTube that's goofing off and talking about hypothetical scenarios. But yeah, really interesting reading if you're ever interested in really digging into some really sketchy bottom of the barrel type stocks. I like it more from the perspective of a detective. For me to go out, and again, I don't throw real money at these things because more than likely you're going to lose it. I mean, that's probably what's going to happen. You're probably going to lose it all. But, I look at it, if I throw $100, whatever's in my comfort level, maybe it's $100, maybe it's $200, maybe it does go to zero and I never see that $100 or $200 again. It's the amount of education that I obtained, the amount of entertainment value that I obtained as the product of speculatively throwing $100 or $200 at something that is probably going to go to zero. Yeah, when I'm at zero, do I look back and say I shouldn't have done that? No, because I would never throw anything at any stock, whether it's a penny stock or a big board stock, that I wasn't 100% prepared to lose. Never invest, whether you think it's, oh man, it's the high and mighty stock or it's the bottom of the barrel. Never invest anything that you're not 100% prepared to lose. And that's why so many people get in trouble. It's like, there's some people that can go to a casino and they can have a good time. And I mean, I'm one of those. I haven't been to a casino since I think I was 21. And I can go in there, drink the free drinks and take, whatever, maybe a few $100 of quarters and play the slot machines and have a good time. But there's people that can't control themselves and they become addicted to the gambling. And the same thing is applicable when it comes to the stock market. And I'm one with the stock market that I feel I'm very in control of myself. And, I never trade on emotion. My trading has always been, Hybrid Life said not a good number. Definitely not. Hybrid Life said we should have a short live show about stocks for entertainment purposes. Oh, wait, wrong sound effect. I didn't mean to do that sound effect. I meant to do this sound effect. Yeah, we should definitely do a live show for entertainment purposes only about the stock market. I think that would be really cool. And you know what's so cool about that is that it's something that's always changing. I mean, there's political events that impact stock prices. There's financial events that impact stock prices. Just like precious metals rallying right now. There's a lot of things that are impact. Dude, let's do a live show and talk stocks. That'd be awesome. So, yeah, I mean, and again, it's a matter of self-control, but here's the thing. Everybody's wired differently. And that's not a negative thing to say in any situation, or it's not a negative thing to say to anyone. Everyone's wired differently. Where I choose to find my fun in life, number one, is adventure travel, because you're getting out, you're doing things, you're experiencing things, you're learning from those experiences. And ultimately, in the IrixGuy's Adventure Channel case, I'm monetizing those experiences because it's part of one of my businesses. But when you're dealing with, with stocks, yeah, we all want to make money. And in the back of our minds, that's why a lot of people that choose to speculatively play with stocks, why they become involved, because they want to make money. They've got the dream of becoming a multimillionaire living on an island somewhere. I mean, who doesn't have that? But with stocks, for me, because I do run so many businesses concurrently, because I do have my hands in so many different pots, I don't have the time to be a full-time trader. It would require a ton of focus. And, the unfortunate part with being a full-time trader, and I know a lot of full-time traders that are multi-millionaires. They've done really well for themselves. They've done it on their own. They've chosen the right things. They got lucky. But, how long can that last? And, that's the thing. My risk, my comfort level with risk does not allow me to become a full-time penny stock trader, because there's just too much risk. And, for that reason, I'm a recreational penny stock trader, and I do it. I mean, it's purely for fun. If I can take $100, hypothetically, if I can turn $100 into $15,000 in a few weeks, it's been a good few weeks. Now, a professional trader would probably take that same $100, and instead of turning it into only 15,000 or so in a few weeks, they could potentially turn it into a few $100,000. I mean, it's a matter of time commitment and knowledge learned. And, without investing a ton of time to really master that arena, it's pretty much impossible for a recreational trader to have the success rate that a professional full-time trader has. I mean, it's just and I know there's savants in every type of field, people that are just exceptionally brilliant, and they're an outlier. They're not part of the mainstream. But for the most part, someone that's not a full-time trader from a success rate can probably not compete with the person that is a full-time trader. Hybrid Life says, people get together for cars and coffee, but we get together for stocks and watches. That would be a great sister YouTube channel. Dude. Hybrid Life. You have hit the nail on the head, and obviously stocks and watches. Dude, why don't you create a channel? Why don't you create a channel and have, that's your channel, and then we could do shows that you host on your channel, and then we could do some on mine, and just kind of go back and forth and just kind of do the live show thing, because I love that. Here's a few reasons I love it. From a demographical perspective, excuse me, that's something that's going to attract a ton of people. People that enjoy watches, people that enjoy stocks, those people often also have disposable income, which means they're probably going to pursue hobbies such as drones and this, that, and the other. Cross-promotional content. I think that is a wonderful stocks and watches that you just had. That's a wonderful idea, dude. Seriously, create. Now, I mean, and we've got several people watching this channel right now. Seriously, if you want to do it, go ahead and create that channel now. Go ahead and create that channel now. Come up with the, with an email address, maybe set up a Gmail address for it or whatever. Go ahead and create that, and and let me know when you got it set up. We can do a live show. What we could do is, stocks and watches, and I'll say it now on the air, recorded. This is a recorded live show. Stocks and watches, that's your idea. So you create your channel, invite me to it, do live streams, and then, every other live streamer show, I'll host one on my channel, and that way we both, awesome, man. That way we both benefit from it. I'm like you, I'm a businessman, and I just think that is gold, dude. That is ratings gold. And actually, ratings gold, I think that's a term that AC3 often uses. But that's a prime example of ratings gold, because, you're getting a large demographic. Who doesn't want to learn? Who doesn't want to make more money? Who doesn't want to, make themselves financially independent? So, with that, you've got, you got the stocks, which is the vehicle for potential success. And then you've got the reward, which is just one of many rewards, which is, wristwatches. And honestly, it's really funny that you said that, because, and again, I started with stocks, and this was, you're in, I think, let's see, you're in your late 20s. Yeah, you're in your late 20s, I think. I started with stocks, and I'm close to 40. But I started with stocks back before you had online brokerages. So my only way to trade a stock was to go to a brick and mortar establishment and talk to a, face to face with my broker and say, hey, I'd like to make this trade. And it was kind of funny because, I'm a little kid, and I had to go there with my parents to, I had yard money because I mowed grass. and I would turn that yard money, you know, a few $100s here and there, I would turn that yard money into boom, 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 because I knew the tech. And this was back before the mainstream knew the tech. So I'd go to my broker and I'd be like, yes, I want to buy, I'd like to buy Netscape Communications. I would like to buy EB Games. I'd like to buy, you know, this was back in the early days, the pre-online brokerage days. And, you know, my objective at the time was, well, you know, I'm mowing grass. You know, this doesn't make a lot of money, but I can take that small amount of money, I can invest it, you know, using my, you know, let's just call it a natural born ability to understand tech. I can invest that and turn that into a lot more. And sure enough, I did. But, you know, kind of the thing always driving that was that, you know, I've always liked cool things. And, you know, one of the things driving that was that, well, you know, how do I celebrate successes? So, you know, anytime I made, you know, successful trades, and, you know, I'd always take a little bit back and I'd collect watches, because that's kind of it's something you can enjoy. It's something that is, you know, also an investment, but it's something that, you know, is also a trophy of sorts. You know, it acknowledges your milestones throughout the journey. And in that case, it was, you know, it was trading stocks, and these were pre-penny stock days. I mean, those days with the brick and mortar, I was trading the big boards, you know, and I'd invest in a few IPOs, initial public offerings. I mean, you know, I started stocks at a very early age, and it's, yeah, I mean, I'm excited, man. I mean, your idea of stocks and watches, dude, that is a honey hole. That is a honey hole. And I mean, again, that, you know, I'm excited to be a guest on your show, and, you know, I'm excited to be hosting a show on my channel, you know, complimentary content or collaborative content, whatever we want to call it, on my channel. So that way, you know, you've got your honey hole. I mean, you created it, stocks and watches. I mean, it's your idea. You're creating the channel right now. And, dude, that's, oh, man, it's amazing what'll come out of these live shows. You know, just the collaboration and the, you know, and the twist in the live show discussion, you know, how it morphs into different subject matter, and, you know, how that subject matter then sparks an idea. And, I mean, this is, dude, that is ratings gold. I mean, it really, that, And on that note, man, I'm so excited. I'm going to, this show is run for 1 hour and 40 minutes. Let me know when or shoot me an email, shoot me a message, whatever. When you've got it all set up, let me know, and we'll try to come up. I don't know if you do graphics design or whatever, man. I can create PNGs. I can create some simplistic logos. You know, enough stuff to get the stuff on the road. And that's that dude. That is cool, man. That is cool. And the content's greenfield, because there's always going to be another stock. There's always going to be another watch. You know, there's always going to be, it's never ending. And, you know, and that's the beauty. Any type of content that's entertaining and or educational, that's never ending, greenfield. You know, that's the kind of content you want to pursue. Mm-hmm. Brad, I appreciate that. My graphics, and I'll link y'all in on that on another show. This one, the IrixGuy's Adventure Channel logo, I designed this. I just used a royalty-free yacht and then a cool font. 90 whatever. Have a great weekend. Stocks and watches. Woohoo! Yes. Stocks and watches. Hello. Hello, stocks and watches. This is a gold mine, dude. This is a gold mine. And you're the one that's came on this show talking about gold, and now you've created the gold mine. You've created your own gold mine. Oh, Brad says, Are you good at graphics? I'm asking what my skill set with graphics is very minimal. I designed like this little PNG down here at the bottom that says IrixGuy's live show. I designed PNG images that are 1920 by 1080 or 3840 by 2160, you know, depending upon the resolution. So I can design that kind of stuff. The logos, like the logo you see here on my shirt, this is just a royalty-free yacht logo. And then this is a font and then another font right there. I put this together myself. My Epic Drone Show logo, for it, I actually engaged a third party by the name of $40 Logo. And it was a good deal. They did the Epic Drone Show logo, so that one I didn't design on my own. I felt that it was worth paying the $40, and I felt they did a phenomenal job creating that for me. So graphics, you know, I have a functional ability when it comes to graphics design. You know, by no means an artist. You know, I can create, you know, what's my video format? Full HD? Is it 4K Ultra HD? You know, where am I using this? Do I want to occupy my entire frame like this? Or do I just want a little bug in the corner? You know, what do I need? So most of mine has been 90 whatever. I owe you hold on a second here. That is the sound of the super chat for 90 whatever. Deeply appreciated, man. I appreciate it. And anytime there's a super chat, I will blow this didgeridoo. But yeah, Brad, I would say, you know, my graphics, if I had to sum it up in an elevator speech, I would say my experience with graphics design would be, I'm able to create graphics in response to business need. So, you know, I'm not the one that's going out creating graphics for fun. I'm creating graphics because, well, you know, I'm doing a live show and I need a graphic. Or in this scenario, stocks and watches that Hybrid Life just created. You know, maybe he's looking for a logo for stocks and watches. You know, that creates the business need to create a logo. So, yeah, very, very entry-level skill set with graphics design. Even though I've been doing it for many years, it's never, you know, my focal point has kind of been video quality and audio quality and the editing. I haven't really, and I should get more involved with the graphical piece because it's those small pieces, you know, throughout a video that, you know, even if it's just a small animation or a small graphic or whatever, it's the difference of, hey, that was entertaining to watch, or, oh, man, that was entertaining and super professional to watch. So, stocks and watches, Hybrid Life. I will, I'll tell you what, sketch up, if you want to sketch up any ideas, and I'll kind of do the same. You know, something we probably would want to be careful about with the logo. And I know some of the YouTubers and you know, one of the YouTubers that actually both of us probably admire the most, Archibald Chesterfield III, you know, he's very loose when it comes to, even during his intros, to incorporating particular brands within his intros. You know, I think it's one of those things, I think it's more of a, I think to err on the side of caution, I think we may just want to come up with some sort of generic type logo that doesn't incorporate any real branding. I think that would be cool. And then do the, I don't know, let's shoot me your ideas and let me know when you want to do a live show, and we can, you know, we can definitely link up and do the, and actually for the live show, man, if you want to do it, we can chat offline about this, but for the first one, or for any of them for that matter, if you want to set it up to where it's, because when you stream live to YouTube, it gives you what's called the stream key. So in theory, you know, it's your channel, Stocks and Watches, but what I could do is, you set up the live stream and this, that, and the other, and then I just enter the stream key, and I could initiate the video connection. So we've got the ability to bring in, people on Skype and this, that, and the other. But obviously, it would be, it'd be your channel, Stocks and Watches. But I would have the ability to use all this professional equipment. But I think I'm going to get out of YouTube and penny stock mode for the night. I'm just going to watch a little bit of TV. And actually, I've got a lot of work I got to do in the morning, so I'm going to get up super early. So I'm going to go ahead and wind down. But yeah, man, Hybrid Life, Stocks and Watches. Let me know when you want to do the first show, and maybe, again, something too structured is probably a bad thing. But if we want to come up with just kind of just like a really rough game plan for the show, and then if there's any live guests we want to bring in, or if the first show, if it just wanted to be the two of us and just kind of introduce what is Stocks and Watches, and then kind of carry it on, because I think there's enough people in the community, including Archibald Chesterfield III. There's enough people out there that want to chat stocks, they want to chat watches, and there's so much overlap there. So I think, getting an abundance, and that'll be the real challenge, I think, will be, figuring out how many Skype guests can we, accommodate concurrently, without becoming, too much. Because you get too many people on a web conference or whatever, talking over each other, it can become a little bit cumbersome for the attendees and also cumbersome for the viewers. So we'll just have to tinker around. But, dude, again, and I'll say it again, your idea for Stocks and Watches, that is ratings gold. And, it's my, my pleasure to be able to collaborate with you, on that idea and really, help to get your idea, Stocks and Watches, off of the ground full throttle, and, and do a lot of YouTube collaboration. I think that's awesome. So, Brad says, I wish I could redo my email associated with my channel. There may be a way to do that, Brad. Actually, I think there is. Because I redid mine a while back, and I don't think used to. There was something you had to do through Google Plus, and now of course Google Plus is gone. But I think there's another Google interface where you may be able to change that. So you may be able to change your email address that's associated with your YouTube channel, but it may not be directly through YouTube. It may be through one of Google's other admin interfaces. If I recall correctly, I think it is. So everyone, again, I appreciate the super chats. I appreciate the ideas. Stocks and Watches, Hybrid Life, dude, that is going to be, again, I'll say it again, ratings gold. Super excited about it. Just another live show, to pursue. And I think there's this collaboration is just, so important. Ideas, your ideas, my ideas, all of our ideas, they breed greater ideas. And that's what this is all about, man. And it provides entertainment for the audience as well. Brad says, you can add a secondary email but change to the primary. I don't know. Brad, I'm going to take a look at that offline, and if I can find some pointers, I'll shoot you a message, because and again, it may have changed because YouTube's changed a lot, especially since they did away with the beta. Since they did away with the beta YouTube Studio, now it's just YouTube. It's no longer beta YouTube Studio. Stocks and Watches, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Thanks, everyone. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this puppy up here, and let's see if I can wrap it up properly without any sort of weird audio issues. Let's see what we can do. I'm going to loop that back there. And let's see what it does. Well, that's going to be a weird audio issue. Let's see. Here we go. show's not starting now. The show's ending. So that's not good. I'm not setting a good example as the channel host here. Let's see. Hey y'all, IrixGuy here. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to subscribe, like, and share. It's viewers like you that enable my channel to continue to grow. Thank you.